The night should have been quiet, but instead it opened with panic flashlights shaking wildly through thick jungle air, boots scraping against wet ground, breath coming fast and uneven as a voice cuts through the darkness saying, "We thought we were alone out here." Until the ground started moving, and in that moment the truth becomes clear. This is not a drill, not a story exaggerated for drama, but a fight for survival unfolding in real time. Just hours earlier, the expedition team had entered this remote stretch of jungle with confidence. Experienced explorers driven by a mission to document uncharted terrain and wildlife activity, believing preparation and teamwork would be enough to handle whatever nature presented. Locals had warned them before they left, their voices low and serious, telling them this region belonged to the snakes, especially the pythons. But those warnings felt distant and abstract compared to maps, equipment, and years of experience. As daylight faded, the jungle revealed its beauty: towering trees, mist curling through the undergrowth, insects humming like static, but beneath that beauty was a silence that felt wrong. A stillness broken only by the crunch of footsteps and the occasional snap of a branch. The first sign came quietly, a massive track pressed into the mud, then another, far larger than expected, dismissed at first as coincidence. When the first python appeared, stretched motionless across a fallen log, it raised heart rates but not alarms because in the jungle, one snake is expected. The team adjusted their path and kept moving, unaware that they had crossed into a breeding and feeding zone, a place where dozens of snakes moved unseen beneath leaves and roots. As darkness fully settled, the jungle seemed to close in, visibility shrinking to the narrow cones of their headlamps, and that was when the second snake appeared. Then a third, their thick bodies gliding silently across the forest floor. The realization hit hard and fast. They were not passing through snake territory, they were surrounded by it. Panic threatened to take control as the team slowed their movements, voices dropping to urgent whispers, counting shapes as they appeared from the shadows, each hiss sending a jolt of fear through tired bodies. Suddenly the ground seemed alive, snakes emerging from every direction, their scales catching the light, their movements deliberate and unafraid, and when one python lunged, striking at close range, the situation exploded into chaos. Shouts rang out as team members stumbled backward, gear tangling, one person slipping in the mud as a massive body slid across their path, cutting off escape. Training took over where fear tried to paralyze them, flashlights aimed low, sticks raised. Loud noises used to confuse and deter rather than provoke, but every second felt like an hour as more snakes appeared, coiling near equipment, blocking routes, forcing the team tighter together. The jungle amplified every sound: hissing, heartbeats, frantic breathing, the scrape of scales against leaves. And in that moment the team understood a terrifying truth: these animals were not attacking out of aggression, but instinct, defending their space, and that made them even more dangerous. One python wrapped partially around a pack, yanking it from a team member's shoulder, while another reared up defensively, its size impossible to ignore. And fear reached its peak as the group faced a critical decision: stay and risk being fully encircled, or attempt a coordinated escape through swampy ground where visibility was almost zero. With no time left to debate, they chose movement, shouting commands, staying shoulder to shoulder as they advanced toward higher ground, using noise and light to create a narrow path through the living wall around them. The escape was frantic and brutal, bodies colliding, legs burning, adrenaline drowning out exhaustion as snakes slid away at the last second or reappeared just behind them. And when they finally broke through into a clearing, the sudden silence felt unreal, like stepping out of a nightmare. No one spoke at first, hands shaking, sweat dripping, every face pale with the knowledge of how close they had come to being bitten, constricted, or dragged down. As dawn slowly crept over the jungle, revealing the same beautiful landscape now stained with fear and memory, the team assessed injuries, counted missing gear, and let the weight of the experience settle in. What remained wasn't triumph, but humility, the understanding that survival didn't come from dominance or bravery alone, but from respect, awareness, and a measure of luck. The jungle had not been conquered, only endured, and the pythons were not villains, but reminders of a world where humans are visitors, not rulers. As the final light of morning broke through the trees, the lesson became clear: nature doesn't need to hunt you to kill you, it only needs you to forget where you stand. And this time, the expedition lived to remember it.